Fans, we are back with another edition of the Cheap Heat Productions Wrestling Podcast. My name is Jack Kilby, Executive Vice President of Great North Wrestling, wanting to wish the fans out there a very Merry Christmas. Hope they had one and Santa was good and all that stuff. And looking forward to the new year, which is just about upon us. Today, I'm pleased to have quite frankly, a very fascinating guest on who has done some significant things in the industry, actually a couple of industries. He's worked for AEW, other wrestling organizations, Power Slap, as well as an NXT experience to tell everyone about. So I'm very pleased once again to welcome Tamilian Vineesh. Sir, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Tremendous. And thanks again for coming on today. Wanted to start off by asking you if you were a fan of the pro wrestling business growing up, and if so, do you have any territories that you follow, companies, and in particular, any performers that influenced you?
Brett the Hitman Hart. Starting with the best there was. So me and my brother used to watch cricket, when we grew up. So cricket World Cup is a big thing, just like Super Bowl here. So during the World Cup, they have like big, long commercials. So we didn't have television. We used to go to our neighbors. That's how we used to go watch all these things. So our neighbors were flipping the channels, and we saw two brothers were fighting in a blue cage. That was Owen and Brett. That was the first ever wrestling match that I ever saw in my life, and I was like, wow. And then, of course, we ended up having TV, and we didn't have the cable, so me and my brother had to steal the cable from our neighbors. So we used to wake up Tuesday morning, 3:30, 4 o'clock, because we had an uncle and aunt here in New York. So they used to call us sometimes. So that's how we know the time difference and everything. So we used to wake up like Tuesday morning, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, and steal cable from our neighbors. That's how we used to watch WCW Monday Nitro and WWE Raw. So yeah, Bret the Man Hart, and always got a chance to follow Stampede Wrestling because again, I have another families in Canada, so whenever they come by, I asked them for tapes, so I believe it was Stampede Wrestling in the 80s. They bring old school tapes, so we used to watch that. Then old school WWF tapes, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, and all that. We used to rent it from Blockbusters. Used to watch all that. Then in 2018, I got a chance to meet Brett. I drove 36 hours, and I got a chance to go to Canada and meet Bret the Man Hart. So it was awesome.
Well, being a Canadian myself, you can't go wrong with your fandom and emulation of Bret the Hitman Hart, one of the greatest that ever did it, and also an amazing person who I've had the pleasure of meeting myself. Was there a moment, a seminal moment, or whatnot, where you're like, you know what, I want to do this, I want to make this my career, or was there some other process that you engaged in to become a wrestler?
I would say WrestleMania 20 was the moment. After the main event, two of my favorite wrestlers, they were like in the ring. They were so emotional, and even that main event itself, like Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Chris Benoit, they told a great story. That was the moment after that match. Eddie came in. I was like, oh, I want to do this. I want to try this. And of course, being from South Asian family, it wasn't really easy because my parents were like pretty much strict. I had to go to school. I got to get that education. And there was no way, there was no chance that I'm going to convince my parents, But then I decided to be a personal trainer, and that's how I moved to Brooklyn area. That's when I got a chance to start my training under WWE Hall of Famer Johnny Rodz. And that's how it was all started. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up because my partner on another podcast, Shooting from the Hip, shout out to Kingpin Angel Medina, was also trained by Johnny. Do you have any memorable moments from your training process?
Yeah. So I used to live in like at that time I used to live in upstate New York, and just to go to that school, it was a process. It was like I had to catch the local bus, and it took like 3 hours to get to downtown New York Port Authority. From there, you got to catch the train, and then from there, I think it was like 15-20 minutes of walk from the Brooklyn station to Gleason's gym. So Johnny Ross used to call me Sing. I don't know why, but I think there's a lot of guys used to come there. I know from that province of India, Punjab. So he never called me Vineesh. Mr. Singh, come here. But one of the moments was like, so I never took bumps in my life. Every time I was taking the bumps, I couldn't tuck my chin. I know it was a simple process. I think I took around 100 bumps, whatever it was. I ended up getting a concussion, and
Mm.
I still remember he was like, "Mr. Singh, I don't think this is for you. But hey, if you want to come back, I'm here." But I never quit. I came back, and it was one of the memorable moments I can remember. Like I was hitting my head all the time when I was trying to take a bump, and
Yeah,
it
that's not
was the body was sore. Yeah.
it's not something that you do instinctually, but eventually, obviously, with repetition, you more than got it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It definitely helped me a lot. Yeah.
Did you when you were acclimatizing to? I know a lot of folks think that when wrestlers such as yourself that are so good in ring and smooth, they, they make it look like anybody can do this and blah blah blah. Were you mentally prepared, or was it a shock when you first got into the ring and started bumping? Just how physically taxing and difficult the art of wrestling is.
I wasn't prepared at all. I thought that it's easy. I could hack it. I mean, we watch on TV, and the ring is not real. It's probably made of bed. So when you take a bump, it's not gonna get hurt. That was my the whole idea, and everything changed when you run the ropes. This is another thing. When you run the ropes, you're hitting your ribs and skin so hard to that rope. When your body connects, hits that ropes, it's pretty much tear your skin apart. It
Mhm.
hurts. So just running the ropes itself hurts. Then taking bumps, and yeah, it changed the whole perspective on pro wrestling. But then I really want to do this. Then of course you get adopted, you get used to it. So yeah, but that was my mindset. Yeah, it would be easy. I could hack it. No.
Yeah, yeah, it's a whole different story when you like. I'm glad you mentioned hitting the ropes too, because that's almost as punishing, if not more, in some instances. Did you have from there when you were training and you were breaking in? I noted in my research that you had some experience working in Ohio Valley Wrestling, which is quite a topic of conversation. I'm assuming, but correct me if I'm wrong. You saw the Netflix series and just wanted to get your personal recollections of OVW for yourself and your thoughts on the series.
Okay, I'll be honest with you, I haven't really watched the Netflix series. I don't really care. Because when I was there, I think I was there back in 2019 or 2018. I don't really remember. But I was living in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I used to go to Louisville, Kentucky. I think it was like 2 hours of drive, and I was a big fan. I was a big mark for OVW. All those guys came from OVW. You hear OVW all the time on TVs, televisions. Of course, Danny Davis, and it was great at one point of time. It used to be the developmental territory for WWE, and the funny thing is they're still selling that product based on that. I went there before AEW Dark and Elevation. It was them. They were doing the whole dark match thing, and like you just go there, you won't get paid. not even a dime, no gas money, none of that. You go there, you get you get a chance to get in the ring for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. You pretty much get squashed. I hate to use that word, but that's pretty much it. And I did numbers of shows in there. Um, I didn't really, not just only paying aspects, didn't really got a chance to learn much. And again, it was just my experience. I remember I got a chance to go to Japan and came back. Al Snow called me to his office, and this is the first time I'm sharing this in any public platform. Al Snow called me to his office, and he asked me if I went to Japan by myself, and I was like, "Yeah," because Wrestle One came to the United States. They did a tryout in different states, and I got a chance to do it in New York. And anyway, I got a chance to go to Japan. To do my training and everything. So Al asked me if I went there by myself. I did, yeah. So he said, I'm taking opportunities away from his kids. Like, how so? He was like, oh, they were paying a lot of money to get trained, and you should make it in the United States. Then then Japan should give you the call. You should get popular. You get, you get that marketing a level, like so once you get popular, once your name is out there, then Japan promoters should contact you. That's how you should go to Japan. And you're taking opportunities away from my kids because they were paying all this money, they're trying to make it somewhere. People like you going there from your spending money from your pocket, this and that. I was like, you're like, Al, I'm in the 30s. If I don't go right now, when? I didn't really say much, and I remember that was my last day in OVW because I was in a match with this dude. I'm 6'1". I'm almost 6'2". This guy's like 5'7", 5'8", or something. He have a weird entrance, and I never got an entrance. He wrapped a chain around my neck, and he was like dragging me, whipping me to the pose, back and forth, threw me back to the ring. Give me a couple of shots, and he wanted to give me a power bomb, and I was like, no, because he's skinny, and I don't trust him with him taking me and throwing me, and I'm at that time I'm like 230, 240 pounds. Then he wanted me to give me like a running power slam like Braun Strowman, and I was like, I helped him out somehow. Then like 1, 2, 3, and after that he wrapped the chain again and he choked me. The match lasted 2 to 3 minutes. Yeah, that's my OVW experience, ladies and gentlemen. So I never cared. I actually tried to contact them multiple times. I thought that, okay, maybe we can work something out. Maybe we stepped in the wrong foot here. Maybe we can make things right. Nothing never happened. And then again, I saw these Netflix series and all that were going on. I never got a chance to watch it. I'm not interested. Like, hey, all I can say is what I recently heard that they just started paying wrestlers 10, $20 or whatever. So like I really hope all the wrestlers in OVW get paid. Maybe right after this Netflix series. I hope really they really make some money out of it, so they will pay for their talents. For me, like I said, I never got a dime, and there were times I've contacted the people from OVW. I don't want to throw the name of the guy, but then what he told me was like, yeah, man, you just let us know what are the dates available. And this is the thing, a lot of people don't know this. OVW films in Louisville, Kentucky. In the state of Kentucky, you need a license to wrestle. To get a license, you have to go through medicals. If you have insurance, great. If you don't, it's going to cost you a couple $100 to get the physicals done. Then you submit to the Kentucky Athletic Commission. Then you get approved, and you got to pay for that license too. So you're investing so much of these, and you're not really getting a dime. So a lot of people don't know about this. But again, this was my experience. And the last time when I spoke to the guy, he was like, yeah, we can bring you in, make sure you renew your license, and we will send you a check of $20 at the end of the month. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I never said anything about this. And you know what, Jack? I can call you Jack, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So one thing about this business is a lot of people, they don't come out and say it. They don't want to burn bridges. That's all it is. I never said a word because I was like, yeah, why, right? But at this time in my life, I don't care.
Well, that is certainly a dramatic difference from the way the series is portrayed. But again, that's television. That I don't blame you at all for not wanting to work for free like that. Now, I understand that you also received a tryout with WWE NXT. I'm just wondering if you could talk us through how that came together, your experience there, and whether or not you had any NXT being more so in the spotlight now with Shawn Michaels appearing more and more on television. Did you have any interactions with Mr. Michaels or any of the usual trainers, etc., down there?
Yeah. So January 1st, 2021, I got tested positive for COVID. And February 7th, I got the email from WWE. They invited me for the tryout. I think it was 22nd or something like that. It was right after my birthday. I shouldn't have done it because I wasn't really recovered from COVID. I was so tired. I barely had any strength or stamina, energy, none of that. But it's the fear. Like, it's WWE, and this was like once in a lifetime opportunity, and you do not want to pass that. I could have called him and told him, "Hey, I," but um, insecure feeling, of course, was like, I don't want to miss this opportunity. We were talking about WWE, and Micah Taylor here um, um, used to run a wrestling school called the Underground Wrestling Factory, Fight Factory. He had this 24 hours system. So I was at that time I was doing Lyft and Uber. I barely recovered, and it was in McDonough, Georgia. I used to drive like almost an hour to go there, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock at night in the morning, run the ropes, do some workout, the basic whatever I could possibly, So when there, again, WWE Performance Center is a dream come true moment, like stepping inside that building. Because remember, I'm talking about billions, trillions of people from all over the world. They watch this product. They watch this WWE on television, Uganda, France, you name all the countries in the world. For them, it's a magic on TV. And so again, same here. Um, I was rewinding all the things like stealing cable, watching Raw, SmackDown, and all that. Give me chills, like I'm right here at the Performance Center, just being in that place itself. I was like, I've achieved more than I ever wanted from my life. That was the feeling. And there's a reason why they are the number one professional wrestling entertainment organization in this world, because they're very well organized and very oiled machine. The training itself. And again, I was having a chest cramps, chest pains. We had to do a lot of drills. Norman Smiley being grateful, helpful. Steve Corino is really awesome. Fit Finley, they give you advice. Um, Ace Steele was there as well. He gave me some feedback when he was there, and of course, I got a chance to meet Shawn Michaels after my match with Austin. What was his name? Not I can't remember.
Not
I think
Theory.
not Theory. He works in New Japan now.
Ace Austin.
No, no, no. He was at the WWE NXT. I forgot his name. But anyway, I got a chance to wrestle him in front of Shawn Michaels. And after that, Shawn came by and Shawn said, "That was a good selling, kid. I like it." And I was like, "Oh, wow." Because I grown up, I never been a Shawn Michael fan. Like, because of course you're a Bret Hart fan. Like, But that moment, it changed a lot, and I was like, he didn't have to come and say to me, and it was awesome. I then second day, I got a chance to do promos and match. It was more kind of like drills. Um, so many things that I got a chance to learn from William Regal, Fit Finley. Um, yeah, Norman Smiley and all that. Never got a chance to say hi, hello, nothing to Triple H. But that tryout was great. But then after our match, I think Austin Green or something.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Yeah, that was his name. So yeah, we were doing drills, and I was having a chest cramp and chest pain, and I felt like I was having a heart attack. So doctors saw that, and they checked my heart rate and everything. So they kind of like asked me to stop. But even for me, the mindset was, even if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die in the WWE ring. That was my mindset, and I wish I had more time. I wish I could have reached out to their medical department and let them know, like, hey, I just had a COVID. Is it possible if I could postpone or, do this later? But hey, I got a chance to do a tryout, and Solo Sokoa was right next to me. We did it
Wow.
together.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
can understand what a notwithstanding everyone in, well, I won't say everyone, but the majority of us in Canada aren't really Shawn Michaels fans, given the whole deal with Brett. But getting
Yeah.
compliment on your work is a big deal. So from there, you became involved in AEW and did matches on Dark and Elevation. I understand against Colt Cabana, Evil Uno, the Acclaimed, etc. What first part of the question is, how did you get booked there? What was your feeling like working there as opposed to NXT? And then I'll ask part B.
Right after my tryout, I believe the vice president of talent relations was Canyon Seaman with WWE. Told us just hang tight, wait, for a couple of months. We're on a budget cut, and Regal gave me a compliment for my promo because I cut a promo in Tamil. That's also another language. That's my mother tongue. So they were like, yeah, I mean, I use Tamil and English, so they like my promos and everything. So Seaman said, like, wait, hang tight. We'll definitely be in touch with people. At that time, a massive firing happened.
Hmm.
A lot of people let go. I got a chance to get a hold of QT Marshall, who runs Nightmare Factory. So he invited me to Nightmare Factory, and I went there. And I think he invited me for a tryout match or something. Like, it was a 5 minute match with QT in the ring, and it went well. He said, I'm good, I'm okay, And I still remember the conversation. We went to his office room. And this is honest to God truth. I'm not making anything up here. He said, okay, first year, we'll like to have you in AEW. First year, we'll like to offer you 50K. Second year, 70K. Third year, 90K. But Tony Khan likes to see you in the ring. So that's how it all happened. And I remember Cody Rhodes was there as well. And I went to do AEW Dark. It was one of the Nightmare Factory student and myself against Evil Uno and Colt Cabana. After the match, we were in the back. Tony Khan came to us. He was like, "That was so fucking awesome. It was so good. I like what you did out there. It's really cool." And I'm under the impression, okay, this is it. I'm gonna get the contract. Um, I think we were staying in Marriott Hotel later that night. So this was the time period where they were filming a couple of months of content, like because of COVID. Fans were not allowed at that Daly's place. We wrestlers, independent wrestlers, were acting as fans, and of course, we all get an opportunity to be part of AW Dark, and you know. So it was that time we went back to the hotel. People were having fun, having good times, and everything. I still remember I was sitting on the corner. John Moxley was so drunk, and he came, sat next to me. He started asking questions, and I was answering whatever it was. Uh, then I get a text from QT. He's like, "Hey, don't overstay." I think around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had insomnia, and I was like, "Okay, I don't need any heat." I tried to get up and leave. Moxley was like, "No, where are you going, man? I'm talking to you. Come on." I was like, "He wouldn't let me." Then some other guys, Excalibur, Rocky Romero, and some other guys came in, sat in front of me, sat next to me. They wouldn't let me go. I ended up staying there for a couple of hours. The next day, I went to QT and I was like, I'm sorry, man. I was like, they were not letting me go. He was like, no, you're fine. It's all good. From that moment, I don't know what happened. And there was no talk, nothing about contract, nothing. And I'm following up with QT, and he said, we're planning on doing a show for India, for Indian Republic Day, whatever. We're looking for more Indian wrestlers. So we are planning on putting something together for India, and we still have ideas for you. Then he was like, hey, how about 35K per year? Is that okay? I was like, yeah, sure. I just want to wrestle. That's all that matters. I don't care. But sure. Then that changed. Then it was like, how about $500 just to come here at my factory and train, $500 a week? I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Then he asked me to gain some weight, gain some muscles, then make a gear that looks or resembles Jinder Mahal, whatever. I did everything, whatever he asked me, and then I kept following up with them, and then they invited me back to work against the Acclaim. And Anthony Bowen's amazing guy, such a professional, great dude. I wish I could say the same about Caster, but um, and I guess this is the first time I'm revealing one of the secrets too. During that time period, since we're all wrestlers, even there was no fans, when mistakes happens, they go back and they retake it, just like in a movie. If you mess up some spots, they'll be like, "Okay, cut it," or I go back. We got to change the camera angle, and you got to do that again. Action. So in my tag match, Bowens and Caster bumping me a couple of times, and they put all of their shit in, and then finally, Bowens is the leader guy. He tag Caster, then Bowen pins me. 1, 2, 3. We went to the back, and Tony Khan was like, "What the hell, dude? Like you pinned him, but you already tag Caster. That's weird." And then we had to go back, and Big Show Paul White at that time, he was like, "Hey, Vineesh don't need to take any more bumps. Just drop the elbow on him, pin him 1, 2, 3." They didn't want to listen to him either. They still want to come back, and they just wanted to give me a couple more moves, and then 1, 2, 3. So yeah, and that match was terrible, and they didn't really give me anything, and I guess the purpose was to make me look so bad. Because if you watch that, they're except Tony Schiavone's and Paul White's commentary putting me over. Tamilian Vineesh, what a great guy, amazing guy. I mean, I'm grateful for them, but apart from that, when you see the visual, there's nothing out there for me. So yeah, I mean that was my experience, and then after that, um, I've been told I don't have any opportunities. I will have no contract, nothing. I won't be coming back to AEW because I have heat, whatever it was. Yeah.
The old silent heat is the worst in this business. My second part of this question is, given that you've been there, you've seen it. we I don't think it can be argued that AEW has lost momentum and hasn't had a positive year. Do you see the company bouncing back from that? And but before you answer that, just to preface it with the fact that, notwithstanding what happened at Wembley with Punk, which we'll discuss in a minute, but just in general, I think their business model is going to be healthy again.
I like to take some words from Eric Bischoff. So you watched 100 different videos of open heart surgery. That doesn't make you a doctor. That doesn't make you an expert. You're just a fan. Tony Khan is the great businessman, I believe, because him and his father have a successful business in soccer, and I believe like there's so much things that they're doing with American football, soccer, and so much. But this is a different industry, and you're dealing with. I apologize if I'm offending anybody. You're dealing with a sensitive group of people with lack of education. When I say lack of education, that means guys like Tony Khan been dealing with corporates. Like it's a different way of handling business. They have their, but wrestling is a different industry. Everything is different. Just because you've been watching a lot, that doesn't make you a greatest booker or greatest promoter. What happened was when I was there, and again, I said this before on public platforms too. A lot of people's attitude. You're running around these inmates, running the asylum. That's pretty much it is. No one gives a crap. But when you look at Arn Anderson, Jake the Snake Roberts, Trilly Blatcher, Jerry Lynn, D. Malenko, you have all this knowledge, the legends. When Jake the Snake Roberts came to me and talked to me, I won't say a word. That's knowledge. You listen to these legends. So when you have a promotion, when you're hiring these people for a reason, just like let's say WWE hired coaches to the performance center so that they can train these guys. That's not Vince McMahon's job. Vince doesn't go to the performance center and show the kids how to take a bump because he hired people to do that job. So my point is, Tony Khan hired these legends. He should have used them. He should have like um, make them to run the show or book the show, produce the show. He's the final saying. He gets involved in everything. It was very disorganized. I remember when I went there for the first time, I was supposed to be in a 6-man tag match. The female referee, what's her name? Aubrey Edwards. And again,
Aubrey.
you're a referee. You shouldn't act like you're the head of the department and you shouldn't get involved in a lot. But her attitude towards independent wrestlers were so bad. It was like there's no respect. It was treating like a bunch of animals. But again, from what I've seen, my observation, because a couple of guys asked her some questions and the way she answers, like, yeah, I don't give a shit. Just go away. I'll let you know. And she writes down these matches on the board. And I was on a 6-man tag match, which changed to a triple threat, then changed to one-on-one 15, 20 minutes before the match. Again, oh, it's a tag match. So that's how the situation was. And again, the talents, guys like Orange Cassidy and whatever the other talents that I met in the back, their attitude like, yeah, I don't care who you are, I'm a superstar already. No one is there to control them. None of these wrestlers have to answer to anybody. They can just go out there, do whatever they want, say whatever they want, and that was the situation. And it was kind of like different gangs, different groups in different places. Like, you have the Dark Order, they have a different locker room, and they don't communicate with other guys. It's a lot of egos, a lot of tensions between guys. And Tony Khan, I believe we both are in the same age. And again, I met Vince McMahon. It's different. You won't really go and say whatever you want to Vince. Because we're talking about, let me compare Vince McMahon to Walt Disney. He's the creator of this world. It's different. And he've done it. He have seen it, everything. Tony Khan, as far I know, he haven't took a bump in his life in the ring. um, and he kind of like he's a fan. So when you're a fan, what happens is, let's say Chris Jericho is asking for this, asking for that. He would be like, yeah, yeah, sure, Chris, no problem, because he's a big white 2J fan. That's what the problem was, and I think I pretty much predicted, like, a lot of things gonna happen, and there are times you have to step in and you have to say, hey, I'm the boss. If you don't listen to me, that's the door. I don't think he ever did that. But then I believe later it started happening little by little. But that's how the situation was. Everybody, they were taking advantage of situation. And I still remember it's too much of wrestlers, too many wrestlers on the rosters. And again, on television, you barely have 25 to 30 wrestlers active. And then all the other 75 or 100 or 200 wrestlers, they're not on TV. They're just sitting back at home or walking around in the back having beer and getting their check every week. And I think around 200 or 300 wrestlers, I heard 350 wrestlers were there at one point of time. My numbers might be wrong. That's what I heard. I believe it, because when you walk around, you see a lot of faces, but they're not on TV. And then you're on top of that, you're bringing these independent talents. You're just squashing them under 5 minutes, saying you're providing an opportunity. And how many people, Jesus, did AW Dark and Elevation, including myself? And how many of them got a contract?
Mm.
That's not.
Sorry, I think you're frozen. Hopefully we'll get you back in here. Fascinating conversation. Okay, you're back.
There. I think I lost you for a second.
Back.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes. Yep. I think technical issues have abated. Can you hear me again?
Yeah, I can hear now.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think you're 100% spot on with that analysis. Before I get to another quasi AEW related matter, you mentioned meeting Vince McMahon, and that's always an interesting story. What was your particular circumstances around that one?
Greenville, North Carolina, last year, right after Monday Night Raw main event, he was walking on his way to his limousine with his bodyguard. I was right there. So I didn't want to say hi in English. In Tamil, I said "Vanakkam." That means greetings. So he stopped. I needed an attention, so I said "Vanakkam." I was like, "What's that?" I was like, "That means greetings." Oh, where are you from? And I was like, "Okay, I'm from India. My name is Vineesh." Oh, okay. Nice meeting you, man. Are you having fun? And I was like, "Yeah." Right. Good night, young man. And I was like, God Almighty, at the age of 35, I met the Walt Disney of professional wrestling, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. That was awesome. And you can hear a lot of stories about him. He didn't have to talk to me at all. He didn't have to say hi, hello, nothing. But the fact that he spoke to me and I said hi, hello, that was literally really cool.
Yeah, big time. In terms of a quote that you provided to the excellent online publication Sportskeeda in 2021, I wanted to ask you about this one, because it's timely, and there's a number of collateral issues in there. You were quoted in reference to CM Punk. I mean, please correct me if I'm misquoting you, but you stated he's one of the biggest fucking pieces of racist shit I've ever met in my life. Just wondering where you came to that conclusion in your encounter with him.
So let me correct this. First of all, Sports Kita. This is the trickiest thing ever happened because we did 1 hour of podcast. I forgot his name, the guy who I did this Sports Kita podcast with. They showed only 20 minutes of it. So, and I like I said, there's a lot of things that I talked about it. And the whole thing calling CM Punk racist piece of shit. Okay, we all human beings. We observe things in a different way. And when I said this, of course, the social media it's a different world. It's a different monster. A lot of people came after me. So much. So I never met CM Punk in AEW. I want to correct this. A lot of people think that, oh, by the time when you did AEW Dark, he wasn't even with the company. Yeah, I never met him at AEW. I went to Nightmare Factory to do my tryout match with QT Marshall. He happens to be there filming something with Cody, and he had a AEW face mask on, and I was changing, lacing up my boots. He came into the room. I stood up and I introduced myself. My name is Vineesh, and it's an honor to be here in this locker room with you. Nice to meet you. He looked at me. He didn't say a word, and he walked away. This is what happened. Now, I'm not coming up with excuses or anything. We all human beings. Frustrations happens in life. And now you've been told you got to gain your weight, you got to gain your size, you got to look like a wrestler, you got to do all that. And I've been doing everything what I asked. And at the end, from 50K to 90K, 35,500, then there's no opportunity. I was frustrated, angry, upset. Now, I don't know if CM Punk is a racist or not. I don't know. But racism is not something you see it by actions, from words. It's the feeling. And like I said, I probably said what I said. I'm not going to go back and, change it. But in a moment, I might felt like, why he didn't shake my hand. But, he probably thinking about something else, maybe 100 different things going on in his mind, because your mind is different. Even though I'm talking to you right now, I make sure I put my phone away because I don't want to think about anything else. Maybe he was thinking about something else, but I felt like, oh, well, why he didn't really shake my hand, walked away. I mean, it kind of like hits you like, and I was upset. And this is right before my match. And it's like, it was bothering me. I was like, well, so this is what happened. And me going on, and I never said this on Sports Kita. I said it on a YouTube live. Um, alcohol is not good, especially when you drink too much. A lot of things comes out. But I said what I said. Like, do I regret it? I think you learn from your mistakes. Maybe I shouldn't have said what I said. I should have said what exactly happened. Because now these days people just judge everybody so quickly, and it's 2024 right now, almost right there. People are so sensitive. So maybe my disappointments and it was a lot of emotions altogether. And when he did what he did, and of course I was told, like, yeah, there's no opportunities, no contract for you anymore. It's all came across together, and I expressed how I felt at that time. This is what happened. Is he a racist? I don't know. Maybe I don't think so. I can just say, from what I've experienced, that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
But
fair
this is the
enough.
thing.
And
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, you go ahead, sir.
I work with some of his friends. They all told me something else. Like, Punk is a great guy. He's a great dude. So, yeah, I just wanted to add that to it. I got a chance to work with some of his friends too.
Well, with his return to WWE in the end of November, and actually 2 nights ago, his first match back in Madison Square Garden against Dominic Mysterio, we're seeing this this jovial, happy-go-lucky sort of persona at this moment, and that's quite a juxtaposition to your particular, albeit one-time encounter. Do you, and with what happened in Wembley Stadium and the whole elite, all that backstage drama stuff, do you get the impression that he's like genuinely happy to be back in WWE, or do you think, just based on past history, working with his friends, et cetera, that this may be a temporary sort of honeymoon period, if you will?
I'll give you an example before I get to Punk. Drew McIntyre was part of 3MB, got fired, got released, went out, started traveling. When he came back, did you see the shape that he was in?
Incredible.
Yeah. Look at CM Punk. Does he look ripped? Does he look like in a great shape? When I saw that video, the clips, I think he finally got that dad belly. He gained some size, and he's kind of like gassed out here and there. It wasn't like he wasn't wrestling for 10, 12 years. He was wrestling a couple months ago. So, if you're genuinely happy, you should work on your body. I'm not body shaming anybody. Don't get me wrong. WWE is a different machine. You're 40 years old, and you're dealing with guys like Dominic. He's in 20s. So if you want to keep up with them, you have to be in an incredible shape. Look at him. So that's why I wanted to compare with Drew. Even Drew said the best, like, you get fired, you can do whatever you want, and then you can come back. You have been forgiven. I really hope he works on his body. I really hope he works on his conditioning. And because if not, it's just another disastrous failure. And that's his mindset. If he's happy or not, of course, he's definitely gonna like play. Yeah, I'm back home, this and that. But I'm genuinely happy for him if he make the changes, because that was a house show on MSG. Now you got to wrestle on Raw or SmackDown. That's where the real challenge is. If you don't improve your conditioning, if you don't, I'm a personal trainer now. So if you don't improve your conditioning, now these days, it's hard to keep up with even NXT guys.
Absolutely.
The athleticism and the speed of these guys are insane. So Punk needs to be in a shape. So I guess it's all just I think he's the guy who took the advantage of the situation really well with his popularity and everything. At the end of the day, he's a success story because we're still talking about him after all. And he made money, a lot of money from AEW and WWE as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll have to see how that plays out in terms of injuries and that sort of thing. But leaving Punk behind, what I really wanted to ask you, really piqued my interest, was you competed in Dana White's Power Slap. Now, there you go. Just wanted to know how you made that decision, and how do you respond to, I've done some MMA podcasts and talked to folks in MMA in the past that are highly critical of Power Slap. Could you just advise the fans as to those issues, please?
I'm gonna be 100% honest here. I was being 100% dumb and stupid. Number one, I was that guy. Saw this slap on video on YouTube, whatever, and I was like, I'm a pro wrestler. I had a couple of concussions. I've taken chair shots in my head. I can hack it. Yeah, I can do it. I applied, and we did a Zoom interviews, meetings, and everything. And I had to go through these medicals, blood tests, MRI, ARI, and all that process. They booked the flight tickets, and I know what was the pay structure was, whether if you lose, win. I know all that, and I was like, oh, if when I get knocked out, I'll get so and so money. And I started a promotion here in Marietta, Georgia, early this year on February, and I want to do something good for independent professional wrestlers. I want to bring them an opportunity, and I have a vision, I have a goal, and sometimes finance is something like it's a big obstacle for you. And I don't have any uncles or cousins who runs gas stations, motels, or grocery store, so I'm here by myself. So I was like, oh, okay, UFC Power Stop, great opportunity. Number one, I'll get paid even if I get knocked out, and I will use that money to run a show. That was my mindset. And second, hey, if I knock the other guy down, bingo, I'll be more popular, right? I get more money. So when there, and this is what people don't understand. For normal human being, what they're seeing is two people standing next to against each other in the middle of the table, just slapping each other and knock them out. That's the picture. That's what you see. But there's so much behind the scenes, and that's like just like MMA. You have to make the weight. They do have weight category, lightweight, light heavyweight. I think heavyweight, super heavyweight, something like that. So I was in a light heavyweight category. So I was supposed to be on 204, under 204. But when I got there, I was 208. I was over 4 pounds. And I had to make the weight. So I had 2 days. So first day I did all my paperwork. Second day we have the power slap, but you have to make the weight. So early morning, 6 o'clock, I'm going to UFC Performance Center, which was awesome. Got a chance to work out there. Then you have to cut 4 pounds. And as a personal trainer, I will never recommend rapid weight loss, something like this. So I was using steam, jacuzzi, sauna, steam, and all that after workout. Like 3-4 hours, I did cut the weight. I cut 5 pounds in 3 hours. Now I'm going check my weight, make my weight. It really messed up my appetite. So I barely have any water in my system. I have no food, and I've been drinking the Logan Paul's Prime thing, and now I have no energy at all. Now you get some opportunity to practice. So you have that big rubber dummy for 45 minutes to an hour. I was smacking that dummy with my hands on top of I have no food, nothing. I'm not saying any excuses. I'm not coming. I'm just saying this was my body. It was that time period. So I have no energy, nothing like that. And I'm smacking this dummy back and forth with my bare hands. My hands were swollen. I have no energy. My hands are getting weak. Now I get a chance to go out there. So I kind of knew that I'm kind of like so tired. But when you look at the UFC Power Slap Season 2, Season 1, most of the people who win the toss, they have the higher chances to win. They because they get to slap first. But then what fantastic was they played my entrance music. I got a chance to do my wrestling entrance and all that. And I got into the podium, and I see Dana White sitting right there. And now it hits me. Oh, it's real. Now you have these 360-degree cameras. You have movie cameras. You have the spotlight. You have legends, celebrities sitting there. I started getting a little bit nervous. I get a chance to slap him. I hit him as hard as I could possibly, with all the energy I had. His name is Cody. And he didn't blink. There was no reaction from his face. And I was like, holy shit. And his palm is kind of like bigger than my face. And I kind of knew, or I kind of felt like I'm going to die. This is probably going to be my last day in this world. And they will give you this mouthpiece, mouth guard. So whenever you eat, whenever you take a slap, you're supposed to chew it, like bite it hard as possible, work on your jaw muscles, work against the slap somehow, But I was in a shock of the reaction that I got from this guy. There was no reaction. I couldn't process it. For some reason, I couldn't bite. And to be honest with you, I don't remember what happened. I was out for almost 30 minutes. I had no idea who I was, where I was, and what I was doing. And I could remember doctors, actually AJ, one of the fighter came to me. He was like, "Hey, bro, you okay?" And then I realized, oh, AJ. And then, of course, doctors checked me, and I had a really, really bad concussion. And of course, I got paid. I used that money, every single penny, every single dime, to run my promotion, run the show. But what cost me was short term memory loss, and concussion is not a joke. I couldn't sleep for a few days. I was throwing up, and I was dropping off my girlfriend to a school for over 1-2 years, and I was going to the same place, and I was on my way to pick her up, and I forgot where I was going, and things like that started happening. So this was my USC power slap experience. Will I ever go back? Hell no.
Mm-hmm. Well, having been hit in the head in November with a briefcase and had a concussion myself, I know it's no joke. Wanting to ask, though, in terms of the protocols that were in place for concussions with CTE and the absolute nightmare that is, what exactly did they do for you following that unfortunate knockout?
As far I know, I don't think there is any big treatment for concussions, but they gave me a couple of like multivitamins and oh, I don't really remember what it was. It's just they gave me like a bag of some stuff, like, and I had to take it. A few multivitamins and some medications. I remember it wasn't anything like prescribed medications, but yeah, that's it. I mean, they checked my eyes and that, but they didn't really give me any prescribed medication. But I think they gave me some multivitamins, whatever it was. Yeah, because I had concussions before in the ring, and it was different.
Mm.
Even though I was never was out, but here I was out, and I'm looking myself on TV when they aired this episode. Here I am down, sitting in a chair, that I'm talking to people, and I'm like, I don't remember any of these things. And I'm giving fist bumps to some of the guys, and I'm walking to the locker room. I was like, yeah. So after the concussions, I mean, that was pretty much it. And yeah, they gave me like a doctor's note saying like, I was suspended. I can't compete in any compact sports for over 30 or 40 days. I have to take rest and all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So for those that have been highly critical of the power slap phenomenon, again, a lot of MMA folks are not fans for whatever reason. Some are. With this extreme legitimate trauma that you experience in this endeavor, how do you think it's something that's going to grow or defendable, given again all we know about CTE?
Well, I would never call power slap a sport. It's a competition. It's total luck. Of course, you got to put your work in, but then you're coming across with people who've been doing construction, general laborers, all kind of people from all kind of community. You're not getting an opportunity to fight back. In MMA, you use your hands, elbows, knees, and everything, and you block the punches, and you're literally showing your face, "Hey, slap me." You're doing this to yourself, and nobody's forcing anyone to do it. And I don't think it will last forever because, like you said, because of the injury. When something bad happens, I really hope it won't. But when something bad happens, they're probably gonna draw that attention from the whole world, and that's the time maybe Dana White or whoever is running it, they'll be like, it's time to close it because again, I will never call Power Slap a sport. It's a competition, and it's a luck too. But that's where I see because I don't really think after so many injuries and concussions, you really want to run something like this. MMA is different. You can come out and say, "Hey, the boxers or MMA fighters are taking kicks to the head." It's totally different. They're not showing their face and asking for a punch, and you're
Mm,
literally getting slapped to the face. When you get slaps, of course, you're literally shaking the brain cells and your skull. So it's a totally, I'm sure CTE, that's for sure. I mean, I don't know if I have it. Maybe but again, there's no cure. There's nothing that any doctors can do it. Unfortunately, I mean, they're still studying on this. But if anybody you want to really go out there and do this for the money, yeah, sure. But again, it's not fun. Everything else is fun that comes with
That's
it. The hospitality, the money, everything is good except getting slapped on the face.
mm. Well, all that notwithstanding, kudos to you for being double tough, to quote JR, to engage in that in the first place. Back to pro wrestling, though, you mentioned you're doing some promoting, which is which is an endeavor in and of itself. But what, in terms of in ring or the business in general, are your future goals?
So yeah, AWWA, that's what's the name of the organization, American Warrior Wrestling Alliance. We've been running since February 18th. We got a chance to bring a lot of different talents from different part of the state, different part of the countries as well. And what my goal and vision is to, I know it might sound funny, to build a promotion like Ring of Honor. I'm talking about real Ring of Honor when real Ring of Honor existed. Provide opportunities to wrestlers from all over the country and put a great show for the fans um, without killing the business, without breaking a lot of tables. So that's the goal. And 2024 must probably be my last year being in the ring. I guess this is kind of like time because for me, I'm grateful and thankful for every opportunities that I got, including AEW. I told Tony Schiavone when I met him, like, man, me and my brother used to steal cable to listen to you, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Mike Tenay, and listening to you saying my name. That's my kind of like more than my childhood dream. Meeting Big Show, Paul White gave me a lot of advice. Talking to these legends, going to the WWE Performance Center, going to Japan, got a chance to get to know Rene Dupree, got a chance to work with Rene Dupree, doing shows with him, got a chance to meet Bret Hart, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and all the legends that I met. I'm happy and satisfied because I've accomplished and achieved more than any indie wrestlers or any wrestlers. Even from where I come, I believe I have achieved more than anyone else. So I'm happy, I'm grateful. So I kind of feel like, I still have, before I walk away, I still have a lot to prove. I definitely wanted to do a couple of good matches with good workers. Then that'll be it for me. As my future. But for company wise, I definitely want to run it. I want to provide opportunities for young guys and girls, veterans, doesn't matter. Down the road, definitely want to get some sponsorship deals, TV deal, whatever. So it's not easy because there's a lot of independent professional wrestling promotions out there. So you got to come up with different storylines, interesting storylines that keep the fans on the seats. And that's very important. It's not about a lot of spots. It's about the talents engaging with the fans. Make sure they're part of the show. Without them, there's no show. So, yeah, let's see what happens. We all are here to survive in the world of wrestling.
Absolutely. You've been extremely generous with your time today, sir. Just where can the fans find you on social media and any other contact points that you have for your businesses or whatnot?
You can follow me on Instagram, Tamilian_Vineesh, Twitter, Tamilian Vineesh, on Facebook. I go by Vikram Strong Brave. Yeah, I go by Vikram now these days on indie wrestling. But if you want to book me as Tamilian Vineesh, I'm down for it. And I no longer do the Indian Nightmare gimmick. That was something funny too. When I got called to AEW, QT told me you can't be Indian Nightmare because we have Cody. But I told QT, it's like, I've been doing it way before Cody. And it was like, no, but we can. Of course, obviously, you cannot go against the American Nightmare as the Indian Nightmare. It's like, but so anyway, I don't do that. So you can follow me on Facebook, Vikram Strong Brave, Twitter, Tamilian Vineesh, Instagram, Tamilian Vineesh, YouTube, Tamilian Vineesh, and AWWA, American Warrior Wrestling Alliance. You can follow the page on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as well.
Well, once again, Mr. Vineesh, thank you very much for your time today. We will keep in touch and keep the fans apprised of developments with your company and yourself. It's been a fascinating interview, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Well, fans, that's it for this edition of the Cheap Heat Productions Wrestling Podcast. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you will keep up to date as to all the upcoming interviews, etc., that we have coming. 2024 is going to be a big year, and you won't want to miss it. Till then, take care.